Bar Muhammad wa ala Muhammad salawat. Allahumma Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wajal farajum. Please, for our deceased, the gift of Fatiha, let's send them the blessings of 2 Qurans on behalf of all of our marhum. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajal farajum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Every praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the most beneficent, most merciful. Master of the day of judgment, I serve only you. I beseech your help in everything that I do. Keep me on the straight path, the path that is true, the path of those who have gained favors by you, not the path of those who have earned your wrath, nor those who deviated from your guided path. Surah Ikhlas. In the name of Allah, the blessing giver, the sin forgiver, say, Allah is one. Except for Allah, we need no one. He has no parents, no daughter, no son. Allah is the rarest one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, most merciful. Say Allah is the singular numeral. There is nothing but Allah we need in this world. He begets not, nor begotten is He. Allah is the only OG. May Allah send blessings on Muhammad's family. May He quickly return my living Imam to me. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajum. Mu'min mu'minat, this is the second night of Muharram. The first night of our English programming here at Imamiya Educational Center. Today's program will be as follows. We're going to have a short recitation of Hadith Kissa. It's a reimagining of Hadith Kissa by Sagina Fatima. And after that, I will be speaking about Karbala. Our topic this year is going to be the love language of Ashura. There's a lot that goes into it. It's a complex topic that I've been developing for quite some time. And so I want everyone to bear with me as I conceptualize it as we explore this topic together. But first, creation has been waiting for Muharram to start again. We may have been dreading it because it takes time for us to get here and takes time out of our day. But the rest of creation has been waiting for Muharram to begin again. Let's give it the respect it deserves by giving it our all, our mind, our hearts, and doing our part. The small things, like when we're asked to all together send blessings on Prophet Muhammad and the family of Prophet Muhammad. Salawat. Allah salli ala Muhammad.
Haditha Kissa, the story of the cloak. This is the story of an amazing night in the house of the Lady of Light, Bibi Fatima. It all started when she was visited by her father, the Prophet of Allah. He came into the house, and to her he said, "Salam." "Welcome, salam," his daughter said. Then the Prophet told her how he felt. "I feel a weakness in my body," he said to her. She said, "Allah is the only healer." He asked her to bring the Yemeni cloak and cover him with it, and so that's what she did. Inside the Yemeni, her father's face looked beautiful like the shining moon. Allah send blessings on Muhammad and his house too, and unite me with my mom soon. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wajal farjahum. Her son, Imam Hassan, then entered the room. He said salam to his mom and said he smelled fragrance so sweet it can only be his grandpa, the Prophet of Islam. Bibi Fatima said, "Your grandfather is under the cloak." So the little boy Hassan ran to his grandfather and spoke, "Peace be on you, my grandfather. May I join you under the comforter?" And Prophet Muhammad said, "Peace be on you too. Permission to enter I give you." And then Imam Hassan entered the cloak too. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wajal farjahum. The next person to enter that house on that day was a little boy named Hussein. "Peace be on you, mother," he would say. "On you too be peace," his mother replied. She said he was the apple of her eyes. The little boy smelled something he would recognize. "Your grandfather and brother are sitting under the covers," Bibi Fatima would reply. Imam Hussein said salam to the Prophet of Islam and asked if under the covers he could be the third one. "Welcome salam," his grandfather said to him, and invited Hussein to enter the cloak with them. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad waj'al farjahum. The next person to enter that house on that day could only be no other than Abu Talib's son, Ali. To Bibi Fatima, his wife, he said salam. "Peace be on you, daughter of the Prophet of Allah." She said to him, "On you too be peace, O father of Hassan, Amir al-Mu'mineen." "Fatima, I smell something so sweet, it can only be none other than the Prophet of God, my brother." Fatima said, "Yes, he is the one underneath the cloak with your two sons." Hazrat Ali approached the Blessed Three and he said, "Prophet of God, on you be peace. May I enter the cloak with you three?" And Prophet Muhammad said, "Peace on you too, brother, my successor. Inside the cloak you may enter." Hazrat Ali entered the Yemeni with the other three men in his family. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad waj'al farjahum. When the five of them were under the cloak, Prophet Muhammad held the two ends of it and spoke, "O Allah, these are the people in my home. They support me and are loyal. Their flesh is my flesh, blood is my blood. I love who they love. Their enemies are mine too. If you are at war with them, you are at war with me too. Please bless them and make them perfect and pure. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad waj'al farjahum." Then Bibi Fatima heard Allah's voice in the heavens. He gathered all the angels and he said to them, "I hung the sky and created the moon. I make the planets rotate too. Even the sailing ships and the raising tides, I created only for this five." And then Fatima heard when the archangel Jibreel spoke. He asked Allah who was under the cloak. And Bibi Fatima heard Allah say, "This was the house of Fatima, her father, her husband, and her two sons, Hassan and Hussein. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad waj'al farjahum." Hazrat Jibreel asked he who will always be alive if he can fly down from heaven and join the five. Allah said yes, he had spoken. Hazrat Jibreel flew down and waited outside the cloak and greeted the Prophet of Islam. He said salam and told the Prophet, "Allah sends his blessings on you." He said, "I am allowed to join you under the cloak too." Allah's highest angel from heaven entered the cloak and became the sixth one of them. The angel said to Allah's Habib that Allah sent his revelations on you, and now he wants to purify thee. Blessings on you in this perfect home. Allah declares you perfect and pure. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad waj'al farjahum. Bibi Fatima said her husband Ali asked her father the Prophet why Allah created such a beautiful moment. And the Prophet said, "Whenever people who love us remember this event, Allah sends angels to circle them and pray for them until the last person has left." Then Hazrat Ali said, "We and our lovers are winners." Prophet Muhammad said, "Allah will forgive us and no one will be left a sinner. No one will be sick or upset. Anything we pray for, we will get. We are success from now till Akhira wa Rabbil Kaaba." Salawat.
One more loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad waj'al farjahum. One more loud salawat. O Allah, The laws of physics are subservient to you. They make sense to human calculations because you allow them to. The limits of our senses can perceive this to be verified as true, but we can only conceive them because you allow us to. You are the cause of everything, but you are the only thing that does not move. Never changing, only you do all the arrangings, the sunset and the dawn. Even the heaviest rocks, basic components, protons, neutrons, electrons constantly moving, never stop, yet you have never moved, never changed, always existed, never aged. No ears yet you hear us when we complain. We can't conceive you, so you taught us your names. Any name we call you, it's the same. The punisher and the forgiver, never born, never created, but the always liver. You speak with no words, but when we praise you, we are heard. When we ask you, we get more than we deserve. You allow us to serve, yet we are lazy. Our arrogance is downright crazy. Why do we ever do anything but praise thee? I'm so insignificant that if I wasn't here, you wouldn't even have to replace me. I will cling to thee like a stage 3. Even at my worst moment, you never hate me. You're the only thing worth appreciating, so all praises belong to you. All majesty and all glory too. I will never stop imploring you. Isn't that what I'm created to do? I want to serve you, but you need nothing. You treat me with ultimate kindness when I'm not even worth loving. I disgust myself with the things I do and the things I've done. Delayed my prayers so I could have fun. When you created entertainment, you're the one who created joy and laughter and this world of matter and promised me even better things in the hereafter. I want it all, blessings big and small. Oh, the answer of those who call to you, allow me to walk the path that is the most true. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wajjal farjum. You know, I spent a lot of time preparing for this Muharram. A lot of time. From the end of last Muharram till now, at least. Perhaps before then. So we come here every year to listen to the same story over and over again. Me and my family have heard it so much. Elijah can probably come here and give you a majlis. He can probably come here. You think you could tell us the story of Bibi Sukra? See the confidence he said it with? We're going to come here again and again and again. For what? Why are you here? Why are any of us here? Let's be honest, what are we looking for? What, we're trying to get into heaven? Ask Allah for heaven. Well, you want your du'as to get answered? Doesn't Allah answer your du'as when you don't come here? We're here for Imam Hussein. But why are we here for Imam Hussein? Here to cry for him? Why are you going to cry for him? You see this picture right here? These are a little girl and a woman standing up against an army. Isn't that how you want to die? Isn't that what you want your life to be? We're going to cry for them? They should cry for us. Right? Imam Hussein died a hero's death. Why are we crying for him? For what? What, do you feel sorry for him? You cry because he stood up against thousands of people and eventually got his head cut off? That's what happens when you stand up against 3,000 people. We're going to cry for him? We're going to cry because we lost a war that we won? We never surrendered. Bibi Zainab was the commander-in-chief, and she never surrendered. And to this day, I stand here and I say we're the soldiers of Karbala. World War III ain't happening. The war of Ashura never ended, and we're its soldiers. So why are we crying? Why are we crying? Why do we stand here? Why are we crying? What difference does it make? You know why he wants to cry? Because he loves Imam Hussein. And those who love Imam Hussein cry for him. It's very simple why. Bibi Fatima asked Allah for people to cry for Imam Hussein. She could have said, Ya Allah, send me a nation of people who are going to cheer for my son and his heroics. But she said, no, send me a nation of people who are going to cry for my son. Who are going to cry for my son. And that's why, if we're here to recognize Imam Hussein, we're going to cry for him. Not even because he deserves it, but because Bibi Fatima deserves it. Yes, Imam Hussein deserves it. Yes, Bibi Sakina deserves it. Yes, Hazrat Ali Asghar deserves it. But Bibi Fatima deserves it. And that's why we, as the companions of our Imam, are here, hoping for the pleasure to help him get revenge on the enemies, not of Imam Hussein, not of Hazrat Ali, but the enemies of Bibi Fatima Zahra. You know, we recite Ziyarat al-Ashura. In there it says, whoever hates them hates me, or I hate whoever hates them, and I'm at war with whoever is at war with them. It doesn't say we were at war. It says we are at war. It says it. And if we're accepting the fact that we're Shia, and if we're here and we understand that on the day that Imam Hussein was born, Bibi Fatima had a prayer. And the prayer was that Allah sends her, a nation of people that will pray for, that will cry for a son. Then we understand why we're here. Then we understand what our purpose is. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's purpose, right? There are a lot of people, good people. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in Him. And they're good people. Better people than I've seen when I go to the masjid and I talk to people, and I see these people who are arrogant, and I see these people who are judgy, and I see these people who, I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to be, sometimes I'm around these good people, these good Muslims, and I don't want to be a good person around them. That's how bad they are. Maybe I'm one of those people. So when I say that, understand who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the we. I'm talking about me. I stand here as a sinner, my friends, my family, right? You all know me, right? I stand here as a sinner, and I tell you that sometimes I stand around people who are talking about Bibi Fatima, and I want to be a worse person than I already am. But then I'm around somebody who doesn't believe in God, and they want me, and they make me want to be a better person. And I ask sometimes, why are you doing good things? And they say, because I want to be a good person. See, I want to be a good person because I do it for Allah. Doesn't it mean something if you're not doing it for Allah, if you're doing it to be a good person? Is that better or worse than anything, right? Allah says, believe in me, or there's a wrath for you, right? But Allah also says, don't judge other people, right? So what? Where's the balance? I'm going to believe in you, but I'm going to be, a judgy-wudgy, right? What are you going to do, right? What's better? I cry for Imam Hussein, right? Yet I laugh at this dude with a, what are they called? A Toyota Tercel. They still make those. You know what I'm saying? Right? And that happens, right? I have a Tesla, so I'm gonna park here, and you have 82 Corolla, so you park up the street. That happens everywhere, right? Happens everywhere. Hey, this person has nice shoes, so they're gonna come to my majlis, and this person doesn't. So yeah, I guess you could come. I might invite you, perhaps, right? And it happens all the time. Is that better than somebody who doesn't believe in God but is nice to everybody? What's the difference? What's the difference? And who are we to judge if Allah says I'm the only judge? So who are we to judge, right? And I had to stand there, and the point I was making is I'm sitting here preparing to inspire all these people who are here to cry for Imam Hussein, inspire my family, right? Inspire, anybody who wants to hear about Imam Hussein, committed to it. And I realized as I got stumped by this person who doesn't believe in God, that is actually a really nice person. What are you going to do about that? You see, Allah created the light. I talk about this all the time. God said, let there be light, and there was light, right? And what did the light do? It praised Allah. It praised Allah, right? But why did it praise Allah? Right? What was this light? Let's talk about this a little bit more, what this light was, right? This light contained everything in it. Everything in it, because this light had to be immaculate. Allah's plan is perfect, and if this light wasn't the greatest thing ever to be created, somebody could say, hey, there's something better out there. Or somebody could say, hey, this third thing you created is the best thing ever, so God needed practice, right? All these statements could be made, all these things could be made, but God said, no, I'm going to make the best thing that could ever be made. I'm going to make it, and I'm not going to tell it what to do. It gave free will, right? Freedom was given when the first creation was made, because Allah didn't make this first creation and say, do this. Allah made this creation that had the components to do anything it wanted. It could do anything. Think about that. If you could do anything you wanted, what would you do? Anything you wanted, right? Anything you wanted. Think about this. You all seen the movie Jurassic Park, right? Have you seen it? You're kind of youngish, right? Jurassic Park, the first one. Okay, so the some old dude comes up with a way to make dinosaurs, right? Get blood from fossilized mosquitoes, recreate it, and create these dinosaurs, right? So what they did is they made these dinosaurs, right? And after they're all like grown up and hatched and living on this island somewhere off of Costa Rica, right? They were surprised at how the animals acted, especially the more intelligent ones, the raptors, right? Because they acted in a way that would not make sense to sustain their long-term existence, right? And they realized that they had these creatures didn't have the benefit of generations of learning what to do. Like even an unintelligent creature, right? Like even birds teach their young birds how to fly, right? Learn from somewhere, and each bird teaches a bird how to fly, how to eat, right? These little basic things that are done, they're learned from generation to generation, right? We learn how to speak and we learn traditions and this and that, but basic components on how to exist with your species is learned generation to generation, right? The reason why I say that is this is the first thing ever created, and it has the freedom to do anything. And what did this thing do? What did this light do? It praised Allah. Praised Allah, right? Why? Why did it praise Allah? Because it worshipped Allah. Worshipped him, worshipped him, worshipped him. It was nothing but Allah. Worshipped Allah, right? But it was nothing but Allah because anything this thing wanted existed inside itself, right? It was a light that had everything. It had intelligence, it had food, it had Disneyland, it had whatever you want was inside this light because everything created was created from this light. We just read that in Hadith Gisa. So anything, Allah created free will, freedom when this light was created and said, yo, light, go do anything you want. And the light praised Allah. Why? Because it worshipped Allah. Because that is the only thing that can be done, is the worship of Allah. That's the only thing that can be done. And why did Allah create? Because Allah is worthy of worship, right? Allah is worthy of worship, so he created, and the creation worshipped him, right? How do we know this? How do we know this, right? Throughout time, this happened, this and that, yeah, all these things happened, and now we're here and we testify that there's Allah, right? We know it because Imam Hussein told us that there was Allah, period. Without that, we'd have no idea. Quran sent, we don't even understand it, we don't even read it, right? Prophet Muhammad came and gone, right? That was our prophet. Hazrat Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein stood here for the oneness, to testify that there was a God, right? And not just there was a God, I am his Imam. I am his Imam, right? Why did Bibi Zainab follow Imam Zain al-Abidin? Because she was his Imam. Why didn't Hazrat Ali follow Bibi Fatima Zahra? He loved her more than anything except Allah, except Prophet Muhammad, right? Why didn't he follow her? Why did she follow him? Because he was Imam. And why is that important? Because Imamat is the proof of Allah's existence, because Allah says that, right? Because you will find no flaw in Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Imam Zain al-Abidin, Imam Muhammad Bakr, Imam Jafar Sadiq, right? Find no flaw in any Imam, including our living Imam, Imam Muhammad bin Sahib was Imam alayhi salam. So Allah Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wajjal farajum. So the answer as to how I know that there is a God, because Prophet Muhammad said so, and Hazrat Ali said so, and Imam Hussein said so, and Imam Muhammad Mehdi Sahib was Zaman alayhi salam says so, and therefore there's a God, right? It's undeniable to me. And so why we come here to cry for Imam Hussein is because we're the answer to Bibi Fatima's dua. And what our responsibility is, it's not just to cry for Imam Hussein, but to let people know about the existence of our living Imam. Because if people don't have the knowledge of Allah, you know what the difference between somebody who is living for Allah's happiness because there's a God, and somebody who's living because they're alive and waiting to die and I'm going to decide if I'm a good person? You know what the difference is? The person who didn't believe in God said this. The difference is hope. You have hope. I don't. You have purpose. I don't have a purpose. My purpose is to die. Your purpose is to live. That's the difference. Without God, there's no purpose. Without the existence of something to worship, right? At some point, if you're a smart enough person, you're going to realize, hey, I'm the smartest person everybody knows. How lonely is that? You know, I was lucky enough to watch, and I promised I wasn't going to do basketball analogies in these 10 days, but you know what? Hey, you got to say what you know. And I'm going to talk, and I'm here to tell you the truth and to talk about things I love, and I can't do it without talking about things I love, right? I saw the GOAT, I saw the greatness, I saw the dominance, I saw the undisputed, GOATness that Jordan was in the 90s, right? And anyone who says otherwise didn't see it happen. And I saw it, and I loved basketball, and I watched it, and I lived it, and I became it, and I tried to be like MJ, and I tried to dress like him, and I tried to talk like, it was the greatest thing. And then for the next 15 years, I sat there fighting with anybody who wanted to say anybody was better. Fighting with anybody who said there would be anybody better. And then at one point, I realized something. Man, I love basketball too much to have seen my best basketball when I was 15. How sad is that? I love basketball so much that I'm never going to see great basketball again because Jordan retired. How sad is that? That's the life of an existential person, right? Because they're smart. A lot of them are smarter than the people we're going to meet at the masjid because they sit there and they ponder the unexistence of God. When the people sit there and testify to his oneness, won't ponder his existence. So they're prepared to ask you, why do you believe in God? And they'll prepared to tell you why they don't believe in God, and we're not prepared to tell them why. Because even if we simplify it and say, because Muhammad said it, who is he? Okay, he's gone. Now what? Then who is Ali? He's gone. Now what? Right? Go time and time again. If you're not prepared to have that, these existential believers are a lot smarter than you because they have thought about it and they decided they don't believe in God. Did you decide you believe in God, or were you told you believe in God? Right? It's the truth, right? Why do you believe in God, dude? Why? Somebody told you there was a God, and you say, that sounds about right. Yeah, he sounds pretty cool, right? Yeah, it sounds like this, and it sounds like that. How do you know he's just? How do you know he didn't create us to laugh at us, right? People do that, right? They go and make friends so they can laugh at them, right? How do you know Allah didn't create us so he could laugh at us? How do you know he didn't create us so he could feel superior, right? Because Prophet Muhammad tells us that he's loving. And that's how we know that everything he does is out of love. And that's why we know that when the existential people say, if there's a God, why do babies die? Hazrat al-Yasir died because Imam Hussein was worthy of his son being sacrificed. Worthy of it. You think Imam Hussein felt sorry that he got to sacrifice his son? That was the greatest thing he ever did. You know, the other day I'm sitting there watching Game 5 of the finals, and I was like, man, this is going to bleed into Game 6, and it's going to be during the 10 days. And not only that, it's going to be during the speech, and I'm not going to be able to watch it. I got really upset, and I want this to be Game 5. And you know what? I said, nah. I want this to continue because I love basketball so much. I want to give this speech, and I want to not care about who's winning the game, and I want to do that, and no one's going to care about it, and people who understand it still aren't going to know the sacrifice that I'm making, but Allah's going to know, and he's going to love that I did that, and he's going to allow me to sacrifice for him. And you know what happened? The game ended, and I never got to sacrifice watching the finals for Allah. You see what I'm saying? That blessing was not in my cards. But for Imam Hussein, every single blessing was in his cards. Every single blessing was in his cards. Why? Because he worshipped Allah. Because he loved Allah. You see, people talk about these love languages. People talk about these love languages, right? What are they? Keep forgetting what these love languages are. There's physical touch, right? There's words of affirmation. There's gifts giving, quality time, and acts of service, right? And people do these for the people that they love, right? But there's one act of love that's greater than that could only be done if you worship something. We're greater than love. If you worship something is greater than love, and only then can you perform this act of service that Imam Hussein did, and that is sacrifice. And that is sacrifice. And he did it happily. You see these people here, right? We're going to cry for them. they should cry for us, because we don't have the pleasure of standing against all these people, right? All these people had this guy, and this guy, and all these people had bad things to say about Prophet Muhammad. All these people had bad things to say about Hazrat Ali. All these people had bad things to say about Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. All these people were sitting there wanting to cut these people's head off, and they stood there and said, so what? And we're never going to get to do that. So we should cry for them, or they should cry for us. But we cry for them because Allah allows us to. And because Bibi Fatima asked Allah to allow us to. Because we could never do that. But maybe we can. Maybe we can, right? Because our living Imam is there. And he is the one. Allah sent him to take revenge on the family of Fatima. Not the 4th Imam, not the 7th Imam, not the 8th Imam, not the 9th Imam. Our Imam is supposed to take the revenge, because maybe we could be lucky enough to be standing there. But you know what? You're going to have to earn it. Imam Hussein earned it, didn't he? Imam Hussein, he earned it, didn't he? Bibi Fatima, she earned it, didn't she? Imam Hassan, he earned it, didn't he? What are we going to do to earn it? You're going to show up to masjid for 10 days? You're going to show up on Thursdays? You're going to show up every day? You think that earned anything? You think you're going to earn anything? Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless if you love Bibi Fatima. Don't do it. Unless you love Bibi Fatima enough to stand there. This existential person who's smarter than you is going to argue whether or not there's an existence of God. And you're not going to have to argue because the signs of God are everywhere. You know what you're going to have to prove to them? That Bibi Fatima and Hazrat Ali were amazing. And that's why you should believe me, because I believe them. And that's what the argument is about. It's not whether or not there's God. It's whether or not you believe in the greatness of Bibi Fatima and Hazrat Ali and Imam Hassan. Because once you convince somebody of that, you think you have to convince somebody that God is here when you look outside and the wind's blowing perfectly and ants walk in a straight line and the trees grow symmetrically. You think you have to convince somebody that there's a God when there's signs everywhere? They see it already and they don't care. They want some confirmation. And I'm not smart enough, I don't know enough to sit there and say, hey, believe me, there's God. Hey, I'm a good person. So what? You're a good person. You know what I'm saying? I lied yesterday. I don't know if this existential person lied yesterday or not. I know that they take care of their special needs family. I know that they take time out for their friends. I know that they wake up earlier than I do in the morning to do good things. They might wake up to work out, but I wake up late, miss my prayers, and wake up so I could eat. So I'm going to sit there and argue with you, existential person, that God doesn't exist or whether or not they exist when you're smarter and you're better than me? No, that's not the argument. The argument is Bibi Fatima is great, and she stood up for Imamat. Why did she stand up for Imamat? Allah created her from the most intense part of the light. Why did she stand up for Imamat, and why didn't Imamat stand up for her? Right? And that is what we need to understand. That's what we need to understand. And that's why we're here. And that's why I don't care if you heard the story year after year. Listen to it again until you understand the story. Because you may understand they died, but you need to understand why they lived. And you need to understand that they still live. And they live in a better place than you. And we're sitting on carpet. You know what they're sitting on? Nope, you don't. Maybe one day we will. Do you know what they're drinking? No. They didn't have water. They didn't have water, so sad. They didn't have water for 3 days. You know what they're drinking now, and you know what we've been drinking for 20 years? They should be crying for us. Period. That's it. You want to show Allah you love Him? Show Him. It's not easy. You know, one day, I pray for heaven. I don't pray for heaven one day, I pray for it every day. Every day I pray for heaven, and Allah gives me things I don't need, things I don't even know what to do with, things I don't even use, things I don't even want, things I don't even know I have. You don't think Allah's going to give me Jannat? But one day, on the day of judgment, when I pray I want to be one of the companions of Imam Mahdi and Hazrat Ali. Right? It's a great prayer, and Allah answers every prayer. So Allah's going to answer that one too. I'll tell you. I don't doubt it. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm a sinner. Yes, I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner, and you know it. But Allah still answers my prayers, and you know that. And you know that, and that's what upsets you, is I'm a sinner, and I'm still going to go to Jannah. But that's Allah's decision, not yours. But you know what? I'm going to have to stand there one day and face the other companions of Hazrat Ali. And I don't want them to look at me and think anything other than I earned my place there. I want to earn my place in Jannah. I want to belong there. I don't just want to get there because I was smart enough to make it. I want to earn it. They earned it. And I want to stand in front of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, thousands of people that are trying to ridicule Bibi Fatima and say, hey, Allah exists because she said there is, and she don't lie. Hazrat Ali doesn't lie, and I'm going to stand here and tell you that even if you want to cut my head off. But we can't do that. So what could we do? Ask yourself, what could you do? What could you do? Right? What could you do? What's your job? What's your opportunity? How many opportunities did you have today to sacrifice your time, to sacrifice your money, to sacrifice your emotions, to sacrifice the way you look for somebody? And you know what? This isn't for your friends. This isn't for your neighbors. If the Imam is waiting for 313 people to believe in him, and you're one of them, and you go talk to one person, there's 311 people needed now. So why isn't everybody you know waiting for the Imam? Why not? Why isn't everybody you know waiting for the Imam? If you lost your kid, you'd have everybody running around looking for them, right? And if somebody wasn't looking for them, you'd be like, how can you go and have dinner, wherever you are, if my kid's lost? You should be helping me. My mom's lost. Whatever, dude. I'm going to tell you I care. I don't care. What have I done about it? Nothing. I have done absolutely nothing about it. But I believe Allah's going to fix that. Because I told Allah, I said, if that's a deficiency in me, you fix it. And I believe He will. And I believe that one day I'm going to be standing there just like this. It's going to happen. And it's going to be great. And I named my kids Ali and Sakina and Zainab because one day when somebody comes looking for people named Ali and Sakina and Zainab because of the lovers of Ali, I want them to come and find my family. Come and find my family, and you're going to see what the lovers of Ali look like. And that's why we're here. And what could we do? What did Bibi Sughra do? What did she do for Karbala? We talk about her every year. What did she do? She watched her family leave. She watched them walk away. Imam Hussein would stop and turn back and wave to her. In the desert, before smog and pollution, you could see for miles in the desert, and she could see her family walk, and there was no buildings, nothing to block their view, and they were walking, and he would keep turning and smiling and waving at her because he knew he would never see her again. And then he made the caravan stop when he was far enough away so they couldn't see her anymore, so she couldn't see them anymore, and he stopped the caravan, and all he did was cry for minutes. He cried and he cried and he cried, and he couldn't take it anymore. He didn't cry when he had to get his son ready. He said he'd miss him, but not the way he cried when he left Bibi Sughra behind. It said that Bibi Sughra, she was the daughter of Layla. Layla means the mother of beauty. She's the mother of beauty. One of her sons looked like Prophet Muhammad, and her daughter looked like Bibi Fatima Zahra. And it said that Allah loved the Bibi Fatima's face so much He couldn't bear to see her face without a chadar. And that's why Bibi Zainab resembled Hazrat Ali alayhi salam. And that's why Bibi Sakina, it's not said that she looked like Bibi Fatima as much as Bibi Sughra did. And that's why the one who notoriously looked like Bibi Fatima was Bibi Sughra. Because nobody could bear to see the face of Bibi Fatima without the hijab. That would devastate the entire existence of creation, because the angels are watching, right? The angels are watching. Allah created them, and they recognize the Ahlul Bayt. They had known them before we did. They knew about Bibi Fatima before we did, and they know the face of Bibi Fatima before we did. And imagine what it would do to the heavens, who are already crying for what happened to the daughter of Fatima, to see her face, that beautiful face, get the hijab snatched from her. Which face am I talking about? The face that when she showed up on the ground of Mobila, the Christians gave up. They looked at her. They looked at her covered face. Her covered face. They looked at it and they say, "We don't want this person praying to curse us." How could this face, this pious face that they didn't even see because she was in full niqab, they didn't even want any of that. Now imagine taking the veil off of that face. What it would do to the entire existence, to the entire balance of the universe, to the heavens, to the earth. Imagine what it would do. And that's why we're here in these 10 days, to understand them, to understand that mission, to understand what happened on that day and why it happened. And it didn't happen because Imam Hussein was weak. We won the war. It didn't happen because he was hungry. It didn't happen because he was stubborn. It didn't happen because he wanted to be king. It didn't happen because he wanted to fight anybody. It didn't happen because he was fighting for freedom. It happened because he was given the opportunity to do that. If I was given the opportunity to walk to Kufa, forget about standing up at Karbala. If I was given the opportunity to fly to Kufa to go talk to people, I'd probably find an excuse to not do it. Imam Hussein was walk there with his family to go and teach them about Allah, right? People are going to ask, how do you know God exists? What I say? Because Imam Hussein said so. So people wanted to talk about Allah, and Imam Hussein's going to talk to them about Allah. And then what happened? He had a little side quest, didn't he? He had a diversion. And what happened in his diversion? I get diverted when I have to go stop and get gas, and I've run into a friend, and now we're going to go do something else. He got diverted because they stopped him in Karbala, and they wouldn't let him leave there. And so what did he do? They decided to pray there. All right, family, here's where we are. Family didn't care where they were. They were with their family, and they're with Allah. And so they stopped there. And they did what they needed to do every single day, until what they needed to do was to stand there and show no fear, because I fear nothing but Allah. Nothing controls my fate except Allah. And the only reason I make decisions to do anything is for Allah's happiness. In fact, Imam Hussein would still be fighting right now. If Allah didn't send him the message and say, "I'm satisfied with you. Put down your sword." And only then did Allah. Because Imam Hussein was craving Allah's satisfaction. Imam Hussein was craving nearness to Allah. Imam Hussein actually wanted to show everybody, all of existence. Allah created mankind to worship him, and not only to worship him, to show the angels how only mankind could worship him. And so there was Imam Hussein, after his family had been shaheed, after his little boy Asghar had had his head cut off by a 3-headed arrow, after leaving his daughter Sughra behind, promising he never lied to anybody, and he said, "I will see you again." And he told her that, and that broke his heart because he knew he wouldn't. After all of this happened, and he's still standing there, you think he cared about fighting these men so they wouldn't cut his head off? No. He did that because he had an opportunity to do that. Why did he have an opportunity to do that? Because of the way he lived his life. Because of the sacrifice he made. Because he never missed namaz. Because he never missed an opportunity to show people goodness. Because he never missed an opportunity to tell people about his father Ali. Because he never missed an opportunity to feed the poor. Because he never missed an opportunity to give charity. Because he never missed an opportunity to teach people about the right path. Because anytime anybody needed help with anything, he was there to help them. To the extent that Allah said, "Hey, you know what? Go show everybody. Go show everybody what love is." And all these love languages, acts of services, and physical nearness and physical touch, and none of this was necessary, because he showed, "I'm going to show you what love is by giving everything I have for you, my Lord." And then if anybody asks somebody named Komel and says, "How do you know God's there? How do you know God exists?" Right? And they've seen the signs everywhere. How do you know God exists? I could say, because Hussein stood there and he said, "I stand here as a servant of Allah, and I stand here and I say, Allahu Akbar, there's no God but Allah, and I tell you that Allah is just." And that's how I know, my existential friends, that there is a God. And that's how I know that I have a purpose and you don't. And I pray for you. I pray for you because everybody should have a purpose. And everybody should have a purpose. And our purpose is to tell people about Allah, to tell people about Imam Muhammad Mahdi Sahib was Zaman alayhi salam. If next Ashura comes and he didn't come, he's not here, we're not standing beside him, we all wasted our 10 days of Muharram. Don't do it. Understand why you're here. Bar Muhammad Wali Muhammad Sawad.